Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live stream on this Saturday afternoon. Um, a little gloomy out here today in Vancouver, but otherwise, it's been a pretty good spring so far. How's your spring going? Can't believe we're in April already. Uh, Getting ready for, seems like the summertime is going to be upon us in no time. I've got two boxes here today, and they have some epic collections in them. And I thought that I would spend some time with you opening them up and seeing what's inside. So, if you are watching, then just give me a little shout out in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And while we're waiting for a couple more people to join the stream, what's something I can show you? Got a lot of books in my library here. How about this? I found this in a thrift shop the other day. I actually have this one already, but I couldn't. It's got a big sticker on it. Unfortunately, I have to get that off of there. But Earthworm Jim, I loved this show when I was a kid. Um, and Marvel put out 3 issues of this by written by Dan Slott, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Dan Slott with Barry Crane on pencils. At the same thrift store, I found also this adaptation of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And what I really like about this one is that is adapted and drawn by Evan Dorkin, who did um, what's the name of his underground comic? Um, I can't remember all of a sudden. Milk and Cheese, is that right? Anyway, he's got a great style, kind of cartoony, and I think it suits the mood of Bill and Ted really, really well. I I love the kind of the bleak color palette they use in here to offset the the goofiness of the characters. Um, it's actually a pretty good adaptation. It goes a little bit more, even more um, weird than the movie does, but I like it. With Marie Severin doing some inks on there, so that's kind of cool. Put out by Marvel. Marvel did a lot of really cool movie adaptations, and this is one of them here. And then on the back cover, I love this advertisement for the trading cards. Who collected these? I think I have like maybe 3 sets of this particular series, of series 2. So there you go. Oh, we do have some people here. Of course, my buddy Phil Owens is here. George, hi from Greece. I always like to have you. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on a second. I'm gonna mute. Pardon me. George is here as well as always. That's wonderful. All of my buddies. Logan Wayne. I love your avatar, Logan Wayne. Dark Claw. Oh my days, Earthworm Jim. Used to love the games and the cartoon when I was a kid. The cartoon was funny. Yeah, it was one of my favorite cartoons. Um, Thank you, everybody. That's great. Okay, let's open up some boxes. Hey, 2 boxes today. Here's the first one. We're gonna see. Oh, I got the Europeans here today. Phil, of course, from Wales, I believe, right? And we got one from Belgium, one from Norway. Amazing. What time is it over there in Europe? It's got to be evening. Is that why you're all ready for the end of your day and taking it easy, watching YouTube? Okay, everyone, here we go. 11 p.m. Yep, there you go. It's almost midnight over there. You're all just killing time before you fall asleep. Well, I'm glad that I can kill some time with you here. And this is Hulk, the Modern Era Epic Collection, Volume 6. Volume 6. Who is the Red Hulk? I know the answer to this already, but I'm not going to tell you in case some of you want to be pleasantly surprised. Who is the Red Hulk? There is the back cover with Tiger Shark and Dr. Druid and Terrax. That's kind of unusual. Um, let's see here. This is Ed McGuinness, right? Ed McGuinness is drawing this stuff with Jeff Loeb, I believe, doing the writing. Yep, Jeff Loeb is the writer. Ed McGuinness, and this is the 2008 series, Hulk numbers 1 to 12, plus King Size Hulk number 1, and material from Incredible Hulk number 600. I believe it went back to its original numbering after number 12, and then Wolverine from the 2003 series, Wolverine number 50. Oh, Baron Mordo. Is that who that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. That does look like Baron Mordo, doesn't it? Yeah, of course. How could I mistake that? I don't know. All those Doctor Druid's bald, also, isn't he? So that should have given it away. Uh I really like Ed McGuinness's artwork. He's got a great style for the Hulk because all of his characters have this bulk to them. If you've ever seen, um, his Batman, Superman stuff, even Batman is pretty bulky in that one. And so to put him on the Hulk is kind of it seems like a natural fit. Tons of double page spreads. Um, Look at that. Wow. A lot of people won't like the fact that there's so many double page spreads because that's modern comics for you with only a few, only two word balloons on that one page. So there you go. Takes you 5 minutes to read, but you know what? It's going to be a fun read anyway. Some Hulk action there. Looks like the Hulk costume from the Straczynski era. That seems to be where we're stepping into a lot of these modern era epic collections, is right in the 2008 series there. So let's see here. There is also the king-sized. Oh, yep, Arthur Adams. One of you was asking if there's any Arthur Adams goodness in here, and absolutely there is. Who was saying that? Yep, with Brother Voodoo, it looks like, and that's Frank Cho. So there's Frank Cho in here as well. Some pretty superstar artists from the early 2000s there. Uh, Whoa, that's pretty cool. There's going to be some awesome stuff in here. Look at that. As long as we don't have to turn the book on its side. Yes, that was a very 90s thing. I think he was the doctor at the time, became Doctor. You're talking about Baron Mordo. He was the Sorcerer Supreme at the time. Could be. Some pretty big stuff. He's going to go cosmic. Wow. this is this is so amazing. I can't wait to read this. Spider-Man's in here too. That's always good. I really like Ed McGuinness's Spider-Man. He draws a good Spider-Man. Looks like everyone's going to be in this book. Oh, Chris Caruso doing tiny little marvels or whatever he calls them. That's pretty cool. Chris Giarusso. Giarusso. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name. Looks like he's got a lot of comics in here. That's awesome. I love his stuff. Tons of pinups at the back there. Bonus sketches along with scripts, pencils, unfinished, uninked pencils. I know you can't see that very well, but that's really, really cool. Wow, there's tons of bonuses in here. Arthur Adam pencils. Oh man, Arthur Adam pencils. So intricate, so detailed. Just amazing. Frank Cho pencils. And here's what's coming up next for the modern era Epic Collections Iron Man. There you go. That is not bad at all. Cho is a dirty old man, but God, I love his work. I think he was a doctor at the time, became Doctor Sorcery Supreme. Brother Voodoo? I mean, interesting. Well, hopefully they can reprint the Killraven Epic Collection. Didn't know that one was out. But as far as reprints go, I'm not sure that one's going to get a whole lot of love in the reprint area. Um, yeah, I don't know. Hulk, there it is. I noticed that. Oh, my Black Widow Epic is upstairs. The Black Widow font was slightly bigger on the Black Widow Modern Era Epic than the other ones. Wasn't too sure why that happened, but oh well. Okay, I got another box. Let's see what's in this one. Wow. Well, there's three here. A couple of reprints. Bucky Reborn. This is a reprint of Captain America Volume 3. It's, it's funny, it's Bucky Reborn, but that doesn't look like Bucky, does it? It's Falcon right on the cover. Um, oh, this is lighter over here. That's kind of weird. So the this is the 60s, or the very end of the 60s, early 70s, when Captain America. There's a lot of campus stuff going on in this book. There's a lot of campus protests and that kind of thing, student walkouts in there, and Captain America struggles with his place in the world. Um, Very nice Gene Colan artwork here. I think this whole book might be Gene Colan. So this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful book for those of you who have not read this before. Some really, really great stuff. Colan in the late 60s, I think, was in his prime. This was some of my favorite stuff, favorite era. And then this one's inked by Frank Giacoia. I think he had a few different inkers on this one. Joe Sinnott. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with Joe Sinnott inking Gene Colan. Just unreal. So this volume has some ups and downs. There's some weirdo characters like this guy who's made of diamonds. Diamond Head, is that what his name is? Something like that. I can't remember. Or Diamond Heads was his gang of miscreants. But a lot of going into a lot of Falcon's backstory in this volume here. Oh, I don't like this inker. Who's inking Gene Colan on this issue? Embellished by Dick Ayers. Oh, sorry, Dick. I didn't mean to say that. I really do like your work, but I don't like you inking Gene Colan. Bill says, "Can you let us know at some point if they've upgraded the files?" That's a great question. Um, let's see. Where are my Captain America epics? They're way up here. Well, first I can tell you that we get a little bit of a logo change. I'm not sure why they made that change, but they did. It's slightly different. It's got a yellow drop shadow, and it's smaller. So that's the very first difference. Um, I mean, I'd have to take a much closer look to see if these files are any different, but I mean, the original ones look very, very nice as they were. Let's see, page 7. Let's just take a quick look at. Bear with me, everybody. It's hard to say because when the Masterworks redo their files, they don't redo every single page. They just kind of upgrade the ones that they have new source material for, or fix any glaring mistakes and stuff like that. So, this one in particular looks exactly the same, but that doesn't mean the whole book is the same. Yeah, I will have to take a closer look and tell you if there's any big differences in those books there. Looks like the same paper stock though. You can see my old volume. Oh, you can't really tell. The old volume has quite really yellow paper now. Um, yeah, you can't see that from this, but there you go. That's this reprint right there. Got another reprint for you. Amazing Spider-Man Assassin Nation. I'm pretty sure I'm sure those of us into middle age appreciate how it feels to be a man out of time. I feel like X-Men Epic Change, uh, where Volume 1 had the original logo. Yeah, yeah, you like the X-Men Epic Change. You like that one. Yes, I like that one too. I think that suits the cover way better. What was the comic that got you hooked as a kid, and who is your all-time favorite character? My favorite character is this guy right here. No, not Captain America. Spider-Man. He's the guy that got me hooked because when I was 8, I got a few Spider-Man comics at my birthday party, and that was kind of what set the whole ball in motion. And what were they? They were the issues of Spectacular Spider-Man and Web of Spider-Man, where Spider-Man has cosmic powers. That was my introduction to Spider-Man. Was Cosmic Power Spider-Man. Web of Spider-Man number 60 was the first one, and that's kind of what got me into Marvel Comics, at least. Before that, I was totally into, like, Garfield and some comic strips and that kinda thing. So I had I that's why sort of have a very diverse taste, because 'cause I've been into a lot of different areas of comics for a long time. So this is, of course, the Todd McFarlane era of Spider-Man with David Michelinie writing. Uh, we start off here with a big story called Goblin War between the Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin, and lots of weird things going on. The Inferno storyline is going on in the Marvel universe at this point, so they get a little bit of tie-in there. Mary Jane is I a lot of people don't, they don't like the Todd McFarlane era because it was very 90s or whatever, but I actually really like a lot of the stuff that he did in these early days, before he got his own title. Like, just the really cool way he draws water and Hydro Man, I think, is great. Of course, the way he really contorted Spidey's body is has become pretty iconic. We get, I think this is the second appearance of Venom. Some nice splash pages. Back when the Thing was mutated and he had those little rocky shoulders suspenders, whatever. That was during Englehart's run. So there you go. And then, of course, we have the assassination storyline. Oh, and an Atlantis Attacks chapter with this is very early work from Rob Liefeld. So yes, we get very, very 90s. And some Fred Hembeck, the very wordy Fred Hembeck. For those of you who like to spend lots of time on one page, it's actually a pretty interesting list of characters he's got there. Oh yeah, here the back half of this is all of the assassination story. It's called the Assassination Plot with Silver Sable, Captain America, and then the highlight in this volume is this story at the very end called Parallel Lives, written by Jerry Conway with art from Alex Saviuk. And it's all about um, Peter Parker and Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and their lives going through. And it kind of follows the it follows what's happening with those two characters at the same time that Spider-Man is becoming, or Peter Parker is becoming Spider-Man. So it flip flops between the different story arcs, and um, there's parallels, of course. That's why it's called Parallel Lives, to what they are doing at the time. How does Mary Jane react to how Peter's treating her, when as he is discovering what it means to be Spider-Man? Um, it's kind of rewriting the story because, of course, when Peter Parker was Spider-Man at the very beginning, Mary Jane wasn't really in the picture. But this is kind of showing that she was kind of always there at the same time, until their infamous meeting date. So I really like this story. I think it's great. Very classic for those of you who didn't like the don't like the 90s. It's a really nice throwback story. The spaghetti webbing does make me hungry though. Yeah, I love that. That's the era that I was introduced to Spider-Man with, that issue of Amazing Spider-Man where he has cosmic powers and he's battling Magneto in the park and his webs are going like all over the place. Pretty wild. Is Mary Jane's cigarette smoking habit a subplot at that time yet? It's around this time. I can't remember if it's in this volume or not, but it definitely is around here somewhere. Parallel Lives is awesome, says James. Oops. I love hearing people's comic origin stories. For me, I bought a few comics here and there, but it was the X-Men cartoon that led me into comics, and I've been hooked since. So, it was actually it was a combination for me of the Spider-Man comics I got for my birthday and also the trading cards, because the trading cards was a pretty big deal. It introduced me to all of those characters. It's why I am a Marvel junkie now. I think how I got into comics was with a Weapon X action figure where he had one hand and it came with a random issue part of Marvel's Legends toy line. Oh, Marvel Legends. Okay. So that's more recent than me. Okay, I've got one more epic collection, and it is very different. Planet of the Apes Adventures, the original Marvel years. It's a thin one. Look how thin that is. But it follows the same format on the spine. It's even got a little an ape down there. I don't know if that who that is. Dr. Zaius? No, it's not Dr. Zaius. But this is it. For those of you who bought the omnibus that collected this material as well, it is just the series Adventures on the Planet of the Apes numbers 1 to 11. And it is very small because these issues were also only partial issues. They weren't full size issues because this was the 70s when they had lowered the page count. Also, this series was already in reprints because this stuff, all of this material originally came out in black and white as in their magazine line in the Planet of the Apes magazines, and then they colored it and then released it as a color comic size monthly. And so there you are. That's what this is. And I think most of it is adaptations of the movies, right? Relive the classic films Planet of the Apes and Beneath the Planet of the Apes as Marvel's 1970s color comics adaptations are collected in one action-packed volume. There you go. So it's adaptations of two of the movies. I love Planet of the Apes, the first one. I actually haven't seen any of the other ones, but the first one is so good. Such a good movie. And yeah, this adaptation looks right on point. For those of you who love classic 70s Marvel, this looks right up your alley. Let's see, who are the artists and authors on this? Doug Mensch, very good. George Tuska and Alfredo Alcala doing the artwork. That's good too. Wow. So there you go. It clocks in at about 200 and 225 pages, with this being the only extra is a coverless cover. I guess there's no extras here. With an advertisement for one of the the current Planet of the Apes collections. Such an odd entry in the Epic collections, but you know what? Glad to have it. Very strange, but it's here. And it's got the Fox Studio logo on the bottom here, because I guess it still says copyright 2024 20th Century Studios, even though they're all owned by Marvel. I mean, sorry, all owned by Disney. Tuska does the first movie, Alcala does the second. I watched the Tim Burton movie. It wasn't as awful as I remembered. Yeah, I've only seen that once when it first came out. That's actually the other Planet of the Apes movie that I've seen, and it was not as good as the original, of course, but didn't hate it either. I would love a volume 2 featuring the classic Mike Ploog terror on the Planet of the Apes, colorized. Yeah, I have no idea if they plan to do a volume 2 or anything like that. This one does say volume 1 on the back, but I'm assuming that's just for consistency's sake. Like Killraven had volume 1, even though it's the only volume. So, will there be a second Planet of the Apes? I have no idea. Beneath the Planet of the Apes is so weird. I think the movies are worth watching. Be sure to see the director's cut of the fifth movie. Okay, that's a good tip. Do you think they can do a Godzilla epic? Well, with the current license, absolutely it's possible. Whether or not it's written into their contract that they can do a soft cover version is a different story because I have no idea, of course, what the contract stipulates. Usually, when they negotiate this stuff, they say we want the rights to do hardcover books and soft cover books and digital and that kind of stuff. But you never know. You never know what the deal is. Oh yeah, it has the movie logo, just like Aliens and Star Wars. It has the movie font on the spine, and they really shrunk the size of the Marvel right there. So that's not going to quite be in line with all of the other ones, but with the Conan, with the skinny Conans, they just shrunk it. They squashed it. They squashed it, but they didn't want to squish this one, I guess, as much because it's still way thinner. I think this is the thinnest Epic collection we have here. We've got some pretty thin ones, like Miss Marvel, but Planet of the Apes still the thinnest. How about Astonishing? There's a couple of thin ones, along with a normal size one there. There you go. Yeah, this does give me hope for all of the licensed stuff like um ROM and Micronauts that's coming out right now. Godzilla. I can't believe they're all coming out at the same time. I'm hoping that when 2025 hits that we're going to see a lot of that stuff, at least get a few volumes. Um I I really want to see that stuff in Epic Collection, but I mean, we all know what happened with Conan, so it's hard to say. Man, I do like this stuff. It looks great. I'm gonna read this weekend. We were just talking about movie adaptations, weren't we? Because I was showing off this of at the beginning of the episode. Who wants to see this reprinted? Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey into an Epic Collection. Uh Terminator. Someone's saying Terminator. Terminator. Yeah. There's weird rights with Terminator, right? Like it's not clear who owns that property or it switched hands a bunch of times or something, so I'm not sure about that. Am I colorblind or is Planet of the Apes brown instead of the traditional black? Yes, it is brown. You're right. The only other time it hasn't been brown is with the although still you this isn't solid black. It actually has a kind of a dirt texture to it. So it also is a little bit different, but you're right. Planet of the Apes is breaking the mold by not having a solid black spine. It is brown. So how dare they? It's so different. uh, I don't know. Looks good. I'd love to see a 2001 Space Odyssey Epic collection. I think that one's going to be hard because that's a Warner Brothers property, right? Boom did reprint the old Evan Dorkin Bill and Ted comics, but it might be out of print. Okay, I'll have to look out for that. That's good. I just hope Titan will continue the Epic line so we can add those to our collection. Yeah, they don't seem to be in a hurry to do that, do they? They're taking their sweet time with all of that. I know Dune had a Marvel comic years ago. Yes, they did by Bill Sienkiewicz, and it's so good. If you like Dune, I think you have to like Dune the movie in order to appreciate the comic because it is very strange. And Bill Sienkiewicz, his artwork makes it even stranger. But it is seriously some of my favorite Bill Sienkiewicz stuff. Dynamite will launch a Kickstarter on Monday for Terminator Comics. There you go. They have the rights to Terminator at the moment. I think they were doing RoboCop too, weren't they? Or maybe not. Black Hole, that's a Jack Kirby story. Black Hole was originally written because that's a Disney movie. It was Jack Kirby did it as a newspaper comic strip that eventually got turned into comic book form. But that would be cool to see that reprinted as well. Jack Kirby in the 80s. Well, there you go. That's a lot of books we had to talk about today. Let's see. What did we talk about? Besides Epic Collection, or sorry, besides Planet of the Apes Adventures, the original Marvel years. That is a long title. And we got a reprint of Amazing Spider-Man Assassination. And what was the other one here? Captain America, Bucky Reborn, Captain America 3. And then the last one we got was Incredible Hulk Modern Era. Sorry, not Incredible Hulk, just Hulk Modern Era Epic Collection, Volume 6. For those of you who are filing your Modern Era Epic Collections along with your Classic Era Epic Collections, are you going to file this right after Incredible Hulk or before? Before alphabetically? It's a big question. How are you going to do it? Right now, I have all of my modern eras. Whoops, they start here and they continue down. You can't see it because of the boxes I just opened up. They're all kind of down here. I'm keeping them all together. But yeah, that's a good question. This one, by the way, comes out May 7. This one's May 7. And then all three of these come out on the same day on May 14th. So there you go. For those of you who have been wanting these reprints, May 14th. Man, a lot of Black Hole fans out there. Black Hole is a lot of fun. Is it on Disney Plus? That's a good question. I haven't watched it in a long time. If it's on Disney Plus, maybe I'll give that a watch this weekend as well. It's been a long time. I'm going to add Incredible on the spine with marker. Yeah, yeah, with whiteout. Put it on there. May 7, the day before my 60th birthday. That's coming up soon, Phil. I'll have to remember that to say happy birthday on May the 8th. Yes, Black Hole's on Disney Plus. That's how I watched it for the first time. Okay, I'm definitely going to do that. Do you always upgrade, Kurtis, and get the latest printing, or does it depend on the book? Honestly, I get advanced copies now from Marvel, so I thank you very much, Marvel, for sending these my way. And otherwise, I probably wouldn't upgrade because that's just a pretty big expense there. But if it's worth it, I would. So if the paper quality is significantly better, like the X-Men Fate of the Phoenix reprint is a lot better than the first one, I would upgrade that. Um, if there's significant upgrade to the interiors and if they just look way better, then I would upgrade in that case as well. Or like the quad books, I upgrade those ones. But there you go. That's what I have to say for today. Um, yeah. Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching my live stream. It's been a fun week. It's been a busy week. There's a lot going on in the world of comics this week, as you remember. And man, I've had to wear my moderator hat on on the Facebook group more often this week than I have in a long time. Not just for anything bad, just it's been a wild week of deaths and DC finest conversation or whatever, and uh, it's been it's been something. But I love the community. Everybody here is part of the Facebook group. Love you all. It's been a remarkable journey for the last few years with you guys. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this live stream here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of the community, and I hope that everyone has a great day and a great weekend. So, yeah, here's my theme song.